What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So the Cowboys are getting killed, Cowboys organization, for Aaron Glenn getting a job with the Jets. Everybody's going crazy and saying that that's a great hire, that he's going back to the Jets and that it's going to be a great fit for him, and that the Cowboys were stupid for not even talking to him. They're also getting killed, of course, for, wow, this basket one's hot, for Ben Johnson going to the Bears. And of course, not talking to anybody else. Literally staying away from anybody who was considered a hot candidate. And, you know, you read some stuff on Twitter where people are saying things like a once great franchise running to the ground. I've said, welcome to the Al Davis years, the late Al Davis years, because when Al Davis started getting bad, he got really bad. And so people are looking at this and saying, well, here's where we're hearing Sean Sharif and them talking on 105 The Fan, that this hire is a Stephen Jones is the one that's pushing this one. That Stephen Jones is pushing this one. And that sounds about right, because Stephen Jones is about as vanilla of an individual as there could be. He's a no-frills guy, you know? You think about Stephen Jones, he didn't like Dion. He said because Dion was too expensive, but it probably was too much flash and sizzle for him. When you look at Stephen Jones and his hiring practices, you know, he doesn't like the big name players. He doesn't. That's why they'd rather go with guys that, you know, we believe in our own guys because they don't challenge us and we know exactly what to expect. You know, when you start talking about some of the free agents or the name players, then you get kind of a pushback. Yeah. And so Stephen Jones, who has gone on record to say, because this is where it's crazy. I can remember when Jimmy Johnson was here, and Jimmy Johnson, it was almost like a treadmill of players that were coming in to find as many great ones that we could. And they turned over every rock. You know, Nate Newton was deemed too fat. They said he was too fat in Washington. Yeah, he was too fat. And then he went to the USFL. Cowboys got him. The Cowboys were able to take players like Mark Spigdowski and take him as a guard who was undersized and make him a great center. They had the fortitude to take guys that maybe a little bit kind of crazy, like Michael Irvin was out there, the big partier, or Charles Haley, who was definitely had a big edge. And they were able to craft those guys to be Dallas Cowboys players. The Joneses, they don't believe in trying to get those strong personalities or players that are in their prime. And the scariest part about all this, because, you know, people look at all this and say it's all Jerry Jones. It's Jerry Jones messing up. I can't wait till Stephen Jones takes over. You can say a lot of things about Stephen Jones, and most of them aren't good. Cat boy, you know, I got my shirt here. Shout out to Miss Tracy. Okay, Dumb and Dumber. Look, tell me that's not good. Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumber. The scariest thing he said, I can't remember if it was last year or it might have been the year before, but he said, when Jerry is gone, we'll take less risk. what risk are you taking these days? I don't see any risk that the Dallas Cowboys are taking these days. None. Dion, that was a risk. Charles Haley, that was a risk. They ready? What? Oh, okay. I didn't know you had a charger. Those were risks. And if you're saying what we're doing right now, signing USFL players, are big risks that you won't take when Jerry's gone, there's no risk in signing Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer is not looking to get paid like you'd have to pay Dion or Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson. That's a guy who probably will be. I can guarantee you, Brian Schottenheimer will be in the top five. The bottom five. The bottom five in coaches' compensation, which is exactly where the Joneses like it. Now, here's the question I have. We realize that he's basically going to be a placeholder for Jason Witten. Okay? That Jason Witten eventually will become the head coach. Now, you had DeMarcus Ware, who said he is 94%. I finally, shout out to Michael. It just right over my head. 94% sure that he will be joining the coaching staff. 94% certain he will be joining this coaching staff, where he would be instilling a family type atmosphere with the Cowboys. And will probably encourage Micah Parsons to not do the podcast where he is the president of Bleacher Report. So you may have to see how that works. But the talking heads, the Cowboys insiders, the fans are all pissed off. Pissed off. Mad as hell. Literally killing the Cowboys where they don't care. They honestly don't give a rat's ass about your feelings. They just don't. And they're going to do whatever the hell they want to do. And as I've said before, you have two options. You have to understand that you're looking at the death throes of the Dallas Cowboys. This is Rome as it's falling. And you can either continue to watch the party as it dies and see what comes from the ashes, or you can move on to another civilization. I can't tell you what to do. I'm 59 years old. The Dallas Cowboys are the only team that I've ever known. It's too late for me. Save yourselves, y'all. Save yourselves. Save yourselves. If this isn't a Catboy move to save some money, you almost feel like the Cowboys, are they in financial problems? I mean, seriously. Every move seems to be about freaking money. Now, maybe Brian Schottenheimer, because there have been times where the Cowboys went in a different direction than what everybody said to do. And I can think of the first draft that I went to, which was in New York at Radio City Music Hall. And this is before the draft became the big fan thing that it is now. Although it probably won't be this year in Green Bay because there's not enough hotel rooms. And I can guarantee you, it was cold in Detroit. It's going to be colder in Green Bay. I don't know what the hell they were thinking about it. Because, see, when you talk about NFL events, You want it to be like a vacation. Sorry, Green Bay. Yeah, nobody goes to Green Bay to vacation. You want to be in New Orleans where, you got Mardi Gras and, everything, although it's cold there right now, though, right? But you got Mardi Gras, great food. They're used to having tons and tons of people there. You're not paying $1,000 a night for days in like you would have to in Green Bay. No. It makes no sense. Be that as it may. But I remember the Cowboys trading back in the first round. They traded back and they took a center, and everybody laughed. They took a center in the first round, and with the third round pick that they got, they drafted Terrence Williams. Now, I'm not going to say Terrence Williams is the greatest wide receiver that we've ever had, no. But Terrence Williams was a good receiver that we had for many years, and Travis Frederick, had it not been for the Hillian-Barr syndrome, would have been one of the greatest centers in football history. And so you looked at that. I remember Adam Schefter saying some stuff like, well, the Cowboys took a center in the first round, so there's that. And they were the biggest joke in the NFL. But a couple years later, the joke was on everybody else. I remember when the Jaguars hired Urban Meyer. When they hired Urban Meyer. Oh, I got to go in here. Everybody thought that was a great move, and that blew up in their face. So, anyway, I'll see y'all later. Peace.